Galaw-gaw, kay harot-harot tingnan, maliksi, di mapigil ang gaslaw. Galaw-gaw, ang lahat ginagalaw.
Na kaibigan si Manny Lopez na ngayon consultant sa PEZA at maraming bright ideas ko na dapat din maitap ng ating gobyerno. Manny.
What struck me when we were celebrating the Chinese New Year in somewhere in Binondo, you know, I took note, magaling ang Chinese, magnegosyo, whether they are running a business in a command-structured economy, komunista, or in a free enterprise economy like Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Singapore. Magaling, no? They have a vision, and I think it's their DNA na magaling talaga, enterprising ang mga Chinese. Now, you know, the past few decades, as you very well know, double-digit ang growth ng Chinese economy to the point na they are now an economic superpower. Kung titignan mo sa based on PPP, yung talagang actual na productivity ng entire economy ng China, mas malaki na po sa Amerika, no? And the development and growth of the Chinese economy was powered by FDI, or what we call as foreign direct investments. Ito pong cross-border investments na ito, ang siyang parang itinuturo ng mga classical economists since nabanggit ang mga ekonomista dito kanina. Itinuturo na ang reason ng economic growth, phenomenal economic growth ng China ay FDI. Ngayon po, ang Philippines nag-i-improve na ng konti ang foreign direct investments. At ipo-focus ko po ang aking short talk on this in relation to the other developments in the region and in the country. Ang foreign direct investments po ng ASEAN region, no, in 2015, yung pong ASEAN 6, ang Singapore po ay top, no, $65 billion. Ang Indonesia, around $18 billion. Ang Vietnam, na galing lang sa mahabang gera, $12.9 billion. Ang Malaysia, more than $11 billion. Ang Thailand, $9.7 billion. And the Philippines, $5.7 billion. Kalahati lang po tayo ng performance ng Vietnam na galing sa mahabang gera. Tinitignan ko po ngayon bakit. And dahil alam niyo po, whether we embrace the idea or concept of development through FDI, through foreign direct investments, or other forms of investments, foreign in nature, malaki po ang co-contribute ng foreign direct investments in generating employment, in generating business opportunities in downstream industries, among others, and of course, some taxes. Ngayon po, bakit napakababa ng performance ng Philippine economy? The past few months, nag-focus ako. I reviewed, our economic history at ang mga circumstances that led to the growth of China in particular, no? And the ASEAN in comparison, in comparative analysis with Philippine economic performance at yung mga kapitbahay nating mga bansa. Yung pong China, more than 10% for the past few decades, ang economic growth niya. And this is fueled by FDI. Kasi po, ang nakita ko na reason talaga, hindi sila magulo. Meron silang perhaps because of the command economy, wala ho silang strike, wala silang kung anong sinabi ng liderato, yung state enterprises nila sumusunod. Kaya merong continuity ng economic policy. Kaya ang risk factor po ng isang foreign investment sa China mas maliit kasi sumusunod lahat disiplinado ang tao. And ganun din po sa Singapore. You know, if you go to Singapore, my last visit there, hindi ako po natuwa naiyak po ako kasi napaka-organized sila, napaka-orderly.
Layo natin.
Ang layo po natin at walang mahirap, wala akong nakitang squatter, you know, ibang-iba po. So, bottom line, I think the first thing that we have to do is establish peace and order in this country and develop our discipline, our social and political discipline, sapagkat nakikita ko po na mga politiko ang nanggugulo sa ating economy. You know, mula po nung since America supposedly gave us independence, ang gulo-gulo na po. Merong pro-liberalization, merong gusto, nationalistic in Depende, it's driven by their interest. Hindi yung ikabubuti ng bayan, hindi yung ikayayaman ng ating bayan. So, napakasimple po. Kaya tama po si Eric at ating mga kaibigan, tama ng analysis. You know, solution na. Let's get our acts together. Ang dami-dami ko pong binasa, pero bottom line, alam na natin Yan na, alam na po natin Nagdaanan na natin ang So, you know, I don't have to state so many economic statistics and everything. All we need to do is straighten up as a country.
Practical mind.
You know? Now, kung malilis po akong konti, okay sanang ginagawa ni Presidente Duterte kasi siya yung lumalaban He's non-conventional. Although meron na rin flaws, no? Pero yung number one, yung sa graft and corruption, risk averse po kasi ang investment Kung may corruption, kung hindi level ang playing field, mahirap po. Noong panahon ni President Marcos, yung mga oligarchs, no, talagang, you know, they twist economic policy in their favor. Pinalitan po ni Marcos ito, through martial law, nagkaroon ng rise of state capitalism, tapos, kaya lang, yung pinalit niyang mga new economic elites, medyo mas grabe pala no? Yung mga policies in the level of graft increased. And this went on and on. Lalong nagiging mas malala. To the point na ngayon, parang acceptable na corruption. My late father resigned, you know, because it was imposed upon him to, approve a public contract that is 3 times the price of the lowest bidder. No? Ito po yung case ng National Electrification na nagdesisyon sa Westinghouse rather than Mitsubishi that provided for the rural electrification program. He resigned. Ngayon po, parang hindi na yata uso yun, yung delikatesa. So, ito po yung medyo nakaka-alarm, nakakalungkot, at hindi na po natin ang kailangan ng economic analysis. Hindi na po kailangan lahat ito. All we need is to fix this nation and come up with the right policies, and we will make it.
With all my respect to the consultants of PEZA, the lady there, si Oji, will attest to this. Nag-meeting kami sa Century Hotel, PEZA. Kasi papasok ako sa negosyo Ang tanong ko, mabibigyan niya ba ako ng tax holidays kapareho ng binibigay niya sa foreign investor? Sabi niya, bakit? Sa panahon, nare-require na ako ng batas natin na may value-added tax recording ako. Miski wala pa akong benta Ang sagot sa akin ng taga-PEZA, kaharap si Audrey. Ang sagot sa akin, wala ko kasing batas na gano'n. Bakit ho? Ang batas ho natin, para lang ho sa mga foreign investor. Anong klaseng batas yan? Hindi makakapasok ang Pilipino sa negosyo.
It's not true. Based on the law, no, 7916. This is the act that created the PEZA, Philippine Economic Zone Authority. Any investor, whether foreign or local, can invest in an enterprise, with proper accreditation from the PEZA. They can avail of tax holidays, from 4 years to 8 years. They can import their capital equipment, their materials, without tax, and also they are, exempted from VAT for as long as this is export-oriented. Okay, now there is a benefit for Filipino investors. If you are a Filipino investor inside a PEZA accredited zone, you can export up to 50%, no? And the remaining balance, the 50%, could be sold in the domestic market subject to applicable tariffs and duties. Now, a foreign entity, however, will have to export 70% of their production, and only 30% could be sold locally subject to applicable taxes and duties. So, mali po yan. You read the law, 7916, it's all there.
Mali yan. Mali yung consultant, makausap.
Maraming sa PEZA, hindi alam, hindi pa nabasa. Okay, I'll tell you, no? Sa PEZA, to be honest about it, no? It's a good organization, no? It's a good organization. It started, actually, the benefits started from PD 66. This created the Export Processing Zone Authority, okay, which eventually was modified, was amended to become PEZA. Okay? Now, iba po yung BCDA, iba yung SUBIC, iba yung CDC. They have their own charter. Iba yung Cagayan. And ang napansin ko, yung politicized na mga export processing zones are less successful. Actually, they're failures. Because investors, they know, and really will not last forever. The Angaras will not last forever. So it has to be a level playing field. No? Now, yung pong mali po yung yung perception na iba ang para sa foreigners, iba ang para sa Pilipino. That's wrong. Mali po yun. There's no basis. That's absolutely not true.
Sir.
Ang problema po dyan, sa PEZA, merong magaling at merong hindi masyadong magaling. I will have to be honest. No?
Kaya kailangan talaga, Manny, umupo ka ng tama doon.
Ngayon po,
Dapat
ngayon po, pipiliin nyo rin din, dadigest nyo. Kaya, basahin nyo po yung batas, nandiyan ang batas. That's why, pinag-aaralan po natin lahat ito para yung case. Imagine, kulelat po tayo sa ASEAN 6, ha? Kulelat tayo. Yung China, nagkaroon lang ng Special Economic Zone noong 1979. Okay? Doon lang sila nag-umpisa ng Special Economic Zone as a concept to attract foreign direct investment. Whereas the Philippines started in 1972. No? Ang Vietnam started even later. Pero ngayon, ang FDI attraction ng Vietnam more than double sa Pilipinas. At hindi sila marunong mag-English. No? How could that be? It is because the government investment promotion agencies have not been doing their job. No? Hindi po, okay naman po yung fiscal and non-fiscal incentives natin. Now, I give it to Ching Plaza, no? That she is attempting to revolutionize PEZA. Although her background is in the military, kami, yung medyo may corporate background ng konti, ay binibigyan namin siya ng fresh ideas. And ang nakita ko, we have to actively promote our country as as a preferred FDI destination. Yung pong mismo mga Pilipino, especially overseas, sila ang mag-encourage na magpunta ang mga kanilang host countries dito sa Pilipinas. And they can do so because, once you exemplify yourself as a Filipino who is orderly, productive, and right-thinking, then you can easily convince investors to come here.
Correct.
Kung ang ipakikita po natin iba-ibang policies, iba kay ganito, iba kay ganyan, wala pong mangyayari. And then down the line, iipitin mo para, bumuga ng alam nyo na. No? When that happens, wala, they will shy away. Goodbye.
Kung analysin natin kung bakit hindi tayo nakapag-attract masyado ng FDI, Foreign Direct Investment, ang palaging dahilan nila, mataas ang ating cost of energy. Ha? Yan ang number one na tutukan dapat ng ating PEZA. Sapagkat hanggat yung problemang yan ay nandiyan, ay hindi tayo makapag-attract. Hindi sila makapag-compete ng kanilang presyo sa international market dahil mapapamahal dahil dito sa cost of energy. At saka, yung nga sinasabi na may labor problem dito sa atin, dala nung kahirapan. Kasi ang China, kaya sila nakakapag-attract, control nila ang labor situation eh. Ha? Kasi unang-una, consumer prices doon. Ha? Kontrolado nila. Kaya yung mga laborer, nakakakain sila, hindi sila masyadong magulo, no? Siguro yung dalawang bagay na yan sa PEZA ang isang problema natin.
First, let's start with the competitive advantage of the Philippines. Ano? Ang competitive advantage po kasi, maraming factors yan. Hindi lang labor cost. Mas importante na po ngayon yung efficiency of production of the entire business process. From the time the parts go into a factory to the time it's assembled, no, and then packed and shipped back, kailangan po yung entire system na yan efficient relative compared to the other country para magpunta ang investor dito. So, ang factors po dyan na involved will be the cost of labor, the efficiencies involved in the system, you know, yung of course efficiency and output productivity ng labor, and the corresponding taxes, duties, among others. Yung total cost ang pinag-uusapan po. Ngayon, while if you take notice, ano, nabanggit ko kanina, ang pinaka-mataas na generation ng FDI sa ASEAN region, Singapore. And Singapore has one of the highest wages. Why? Because they're very productive. No? There is so much capital. The efficiency of the Singaporean economy is such that it produces more for every labor and capital input. No? Ngayon po, tignan naman natin yung mga theories. Ano? And I will give you an example on why, you know, other companies like Intel, they started here, no? In the 1970s. They moved to Vietnam, and now Intel produces 80% of all microprocessors in the world in Vietnam. But they started here in the Philippines. Ang naging problema nila dito, number one, I always debated with Tom Aquino when he was the BOI governor, no? Kasi sa computers ako for the past 30 years. He was imputing the cost of labor and the cost of transportation as key factors in the production of microprocessors. Hindi po eh. Kasi yung cost of transportation, napakaliit na microprocessor, ang value napakalaki, so napakamura. It's a small percentage of the total cost of the microprocessor. In the same manner, ang labor cost imputable to that particular component is also very small relative to the actual cost. No? So, we are barking at the wrong tree. At maraming mga theoreticians, mga academics in particular, ano, mga magagaling na processor, pag nagpatakbo ng negosyo, it's always a failure. Why? Because they are basing, you know, their premises on theories. Kaya ako, pag magtatanong ako, paano magpatakbo ng negosyo, tatanungin ko yung bilyonaryo. No? Yung successful na managers, because they can relate better, you know, to reality, to business realities. Kasi may kinks eh. Laging may kinks yan eh. So you manage all these factors. You manage labor, you manage capital, you manage the system to produce the most competitive product. And, you know, market this accordingly. Yung Intel po ay napakagandang example why FDIs are not, you know, being attracted as much as they should here in the Philippines. because we only look at certain factors. We don't look at the total picture.
Ngayon, nandun pa tayo sa factor and market-driven. Tinitignan pa natin ang labor cost, etc., etc. Now, we are moving towards a knowledge-based industry. So, accordingly, yung human resources po natin, dapat i-develop natin, and also the other factors that affect our competitive advantage, particularly the system of governance in this country. We have to improve it. We have to depoliticize the system of the way business is done in this country.
As you mentioned a while ago, nasa harapan din yung mga dokumento halos lahat na pag-aralan natin. Sino po ba talagang dapat tumbukin ng mga ahensya ng gobyerno, particular yung mga itinalaga ngayon ng Pangulo, na dapat talaga maging makabulat, makatotohanan para sa magkaroon ng mabilis na action ng mga problemang kinakaroon natin ngayon?
Sa economic arena po, the President launched a 10-point socio-economic program, and the economic team is headed by Secretary Manny Lopez of Finance. At member po lahat ng kabinete dyan, and including NEDA, T.I.N.D.I.G, among others. And nakikita ko po yung 10-point socio-economic agenda that was launched even prior to the assumption of the Duterte administration. Makabuluhan po. It addresses certain priorities with the end goal of reducing the incidence of poverty. Now, in terms of program, okay po siya, pero nagkakaproblema po kasi yun sa implementation. No? Now, napansin ko po na talagang magkakaroon pa rin ng problema sa implementation because noon po, nakatatlong presidente na ako eh. No? Presidente Marcos, mata pa ako noon. Cory, I was an undersecretary, kasama ko si Mike na lumalaban sa corruption sa NFA, and so on and so forth. Ramos, of course, and recently, ang nakikita ko po, the big problem really is our citizenry also. Their consciousness, banat ng banat, maraming criticism and everything, pero pag silang nakaupo, they do the same thing. So, the patriotism is, selective.
Correct.
Yung ating ethical values, we rationalize.
Correct.
Hindi natin matuldukan kung ano yung tama, dapat gawin yung tama. At yung mali, dapat huwag gawin mali.
Okay.
Tapos ngayon po, to highlight lang how crooked, in a way, our system is. Ang death penalty pinag-uusapan ng Kongreso, ang isang kanilang compromise topic or compromise area is to remove plunder, as a crime, away from hindi isasali yun sa crime ng capital punishment.
Ako po si Manny-Robles, ang mami at babaeng lagalag. At ito ang aking balita, news, para sa kaalaman ng buong Pilipinas at buong mundo, North, East, West, South. Hanggang sa muli!
At pakialam, galaw-gaw, kung tawagin siya'y ganyan, kang karot, na trumpong tumatarang, galaw-gaw, nakalilitong